you guys? Ashley Elizabeth here with AHM Artistry, and today we are testing out the brand new Tarte Face Tape Foundation. Woo! Is it new? Is it? This is not just a first impressions video. No, this is actually my second day trying it because I wanted to like form a little first impressions and then try it again and see, like really dig deep. It claims to be matte. It claims to be full coverage. I have dry skin. I want to find out if this foundation is good for me. I have acne. I have discoloration to cover up. I have some dry skin. We're gonna see how it works. Also, I picked up the base tape primer. I know, shape tape, face tape, shape tape. We're gonna be putting it all on my face. We're gonna be trying it out and seeing if it's any good. I also have the loose setting powder. This one's been out for like a year and I've actually been using it. I actually really like it. So we're gonna put these all together, see what we got, bippity boppity boo. And if that all sounds good and dandy to you guys, then you know what to do. Sit back, hang tight, and keep on watching. All right, we're gonna be diving into slathering this stuff all over my face real quick, but let's talk about specifications for those who want to know for just a tiny little itty bitty minute. First of all, Tarte Face Tape is allegedly exclusive with Ulta, just like the Shape Tape is, unless you live in some other countries that actually Sephora carries, like Australia, Singapore I saw on their Instagram, I don't know. But, so you can pick it up there or you can pick it up from Tarte's actual website. It retails for $39 and it comes with 1.01 fluid ounces. A little bit about the claims is it's supposed to be a long-wearing full coverage with a natural matte finish. Supposed to be transfer-proof, waterproof, sweat-proof, what? Flawless through work and play. Those are some heavy-duty claims. Basically, it says that you could go through fire and ice and it will still be on your face, basically, to sum up, right? And of course, it recommends to pair it with the Tarte Shape Tape, obviously. It does concern me, yeah, that it's matte finish. However, I have used matte foundations before and they're fine. Some are really matte, like the original Tarte Shape Tape Foundation. That dried me out like the Sahara Desert. It was not cute, but I can attest to the wear that I did yesterday and it did not do that. So I am optimistic about this one. Also, the Tarte Shape Tape Hydration finish was a greasy hot mess. So for me, I'm hoping that this is somewhere in between because the coverage on both of those was really good, but the finish was just not working in either situation. And I did not like that Tarte repackaged that gel pot hybrid and put it in the hydration one because that foundation I did not like either. I tried that one for like a month to try to like it and I just hated it so much. So we're gonna be optimistic about this one today. Hopefully they went back to the drawing board and improved it. They also did this launch with 50 shades with 5 different undertones, unlike their previous launches, Tarte Shape Tape. So at least they are hearing us, kind of, mostly, sometimes, that we need a broader range to include everybody. I mean, this is just ridiculous. So at least they came out at some point. Some of the shades do seem similar in pictures, but I think if you have a local Ulta, I recommend going and checking those out because they were actually out on the stand of my light neutral shade and I was like, oh no, of course they're out. They just launched. So I was like, let me see if any of the shades in the other zone will work. And then I swatched them and they were very different. So I actually swatched light sand while I was there, and light sand, even though it was perfect undertones for me, that kind of yellowy a little bit undertone, it was way too light because I use light sand in the Shape Tape concealer, but I use it to brighten, so of course the foundation would be lighter, but it actually was pretty accurate to this one. And then the next one up from light neutral was light honey, and of course that one was too pink. So I didn't go too much farther from that. I figured it was going to be too dark. Light neutral honestly was my perfect match, and I asked the girl that was walking by that worked there, and she's like, oh yeah, we have a bunch of those, and she pulled it out. So I was like, bada bing bada boom. But I'm glad that I did that so I can see like how different everything is. It was pretty different. So definitely check out your local Ulta if you are interested in this and try to get some swatches. And my experience with other Tarte foundations other than the Shape Tape kind of line, I actually really love the Amazonian Clay foundation. Is one of my top favorites. So I'm hoping that it's similar to that, just a little more coverage because that one's like medium buildable up to full. So I hope this one just comes shooting out of the bag as full coverage. But the Rainforest of the Sea foundation, which you think I would like because I'm dry skin, is just a greasy hot mess on me too. So I don't know. Now there has been speculation that people think that this foundation may be actually identical to the original Shape Tape matte foundation, since Tarte did do a little switcheroo on us with that hydrating one. But I looked over the ingredients before purchasing this and I saw that the ingredient list does look different. There are some similarities in ingredients, but that's just how foundations are. Nowhere near the same order, and it looks like a few different ingredients in this one too. So you can be hopefully rest assured that that is quite different. Enough about specifications and talking in my experience with picking out a shade and all of that. Let's go ahead and put all this on my face. So on this side of my face today, I am putting the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer on that. This has been my fave babe forever. It just helps foundation to kind of not be so dry, but it still has a good stick. So I do like that. And I want to compare it to see if I can upgrade, because I'm getting only drier as I get older, and I want to see if I can bump up that moisture level without it separating foundation, getting greasy, because that's oftentimes what the problem is that I run into. So yesterday when I tried this out, I didn't feel like it made too much of a difference. So that's why I wanted to do side by side. I like the texture. It's a very milky, silky milky texture, and it feels very similar to the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer. Kind of a silkier feel almost. And what I instantly liked yesterday about this primer is it felt like it had a little bit of a stick to it. So I was like, ooh, this will really help the foundation stick even better. So the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer really dries quickly on me. This one maintains a little bit of a stickiness. So if you like that sticky texture in a primer, then you might like this one if you are dry. I just didn't see any difference with like pore reduction or anything like that. However, I was just doing the base tape and the foundation. So that's why I wanted to put the Too Faced on one side to see how it compares. Now, if you watch my videos, then you know my concealer technique is a little bit different now. I actually usually not today though, I will apply the concealer just on the discolorations on my cheeks and then put foundation on top. Today and yesterday, I just wanted to do the foundation just to see how that coverage is. I didn't want to conflict with the concealer at all, so I'll put the concealer on after the foundation only today. So at this point right here, let me go ahead and pop in the footage of me trying the Face Tape Foundation for the very first time yesterday. You can see the coverage now. You can check out all of that. That is with the Face Tape Primer only. Pretty good coverage right off the bat. Not too difficult to blend. It was pretty easy to blend it out really fast, and this is everything all done up close without any setting products on top. So I'll let you guys be the judge of all of that. This is everything with all the topping products, so my contour, highlight, everything like that too. Not like crazy groundbreaking or anything like that. So today I'll do a full 8-hour wear test and you guys will see how it holds up. It didn't, to me, seem transfer proof, and I don't really see how it's gonna be like sweat proof and waterproof and stuff, because I noticed my chin kind of wore off towards like the 5-hour mark, and that's not really transfer proof. I feel like I put my hand on my face and like some of the stuff came off, but we're gonna see in the 8-hour wear test how the transfer is and everything. I'll do a little transfer test and we'll see. So let's go ahead and put this. I hope this isn't too complicated showing you my first impressions and doing a second day. I just feel like sometimes with first impressions, like, you have this first impression idea in your head, and then usually it kind of stays the same, but sometimes it can change a little bit, especially with foundation and like all of that. So I do like the pump component on this the best out of every foundation I've tried of them. I don't like the gimmicky foundations. I like just a classic pump foundation, and the plastic bottle is nice to travel with. It doesn't feel luxurious. I feel like the Shape Tape foundation felt more luxurious, and the spatula was cool, but it was just trying too hard to be like Shape Tape, I think. I mean, Tarte's funny. Let's do 2 pumps. It's like they found something that works and they're just pumping everything out with something of that nature, of that name. So this was 2 pumps. I'm gonna just dot all over my face. Let's go ahead and blend her out. So I would say I usually have a problem covering up my discoloration in that area, and this foundation is actually doing a really good job covering it up without having to do concealer first. I mean, I still would like a tiny bit more coverage there with concealer, but I don't think I would have to use as much. Usually I have to do like 3 full stripes. I think I could just do 1 stripe of concealer now and be done with that. So I am liking the coverage. I think it's pretty good. And then as far as matte goes, I didn't find it to be too matte yesterday. So I enjoyed the finish of it. I thought it had pretty natural finish, not too matte. There's probably some products you could do to help mattify it more, and maybe it has to do with the primers that I'm using. But I liked the finish of it. I thought it was a very good skin-like finish. Another thing I like about this foundation so far is I can dot it all over my face and it doesn't start drying before I go to blend, because I want steps that help save me time, and I like to dot it all over really quickly and just blend it out. I don't like having to do section, pump section. sometimes with matte foundations, that's the case, and it's just like, oh my gosh, you can't blend it out before it starts drying because it wants to be so matte. And I actually have a lot left on my hands, so I'm trying to figure out how much to use, but I'm thinking between a pump and a half is plenty. Now I always take a beauty blender that was dampened maybe a half an hour ago, and I just gently pat off any kind of excess. That way it doesn't like crease as much, because I have some areas that I have fine lines and stuff, and if I just put too much product on, then it'll just get creasy and gross. Same thing around the nose. So not too much came off, but just a little bit, just enough, and I want that. I don't want something that also pulls up too much product. So as you guys know, I like to zoom you in and get you real up close so you can really see how everything's performing. See, I have a tiny bit of discoloration you can still see. Now, judging the Face Tape Primer against the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer, without setting it or anything like that, I'm actually liking the Too Faced Primer better. I felt yesterday that my pores were not amazing. They can look better, so I didn't know if that was the foundation or the primer. So I'm glad I'm testing this side by side, because I want to say it's kind of like has some pigment in the pores on this side, where I'm not really having the problem on this side. Probably hard to pick up on camera, so you'll just have to take my word for it, but let's go ahead and do some Shape Tape concealer and go ahead and set it with the setting powder, and then we'll see how that all looks. Oh, I look like white as a ghost right now. So let me go ahead and put the Tarte setting powder on it. This is the loose setting powder, like I said, that came out last year. I have liked this one. It's very similar to the Laura Mercier powder in my book, but I remember that you don't get as much product with this. It's a tiny bit cheaper, but it's just like, whatever. I mean, both those powders, like, I just use them, but they're not necessarily my favorites. I just got the Hourglass translucent powder, and I'm going to be testing that out for you guys, but I didn't want to start something new with this. But it's nice. It doesn't mattify too much. It just kind of sets, and you know, it's a basic. So here is how everything looks with all the Shape Tape range, pretty much. I can see a little discoloration here still, but I would be able to cut down on how much concealer I used beforehand, so I do like that. It is mostly matte at this time, but you can see my face still has a little bit of a shine. I'd say that's not just the lights doing it. The nose looks a tiny bit patchy, so not liking that part of it. And then around my smile lines that I don't really have, except I use certain foundations or concealers, I have a little bit of texture. But you know what? I don't have as much texture on the Face Tape Primer side as I do on the Too Faced side, so that's interesting. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all my contour, highlight, and setting spray, and we will see how that looks all together. Okay, here is everything done. From far away, everything looks fine, right? Let's go ahead and zoom you in and show you everything that I'm seeing. So my thoughts are, I wouldn't say this is full coverage. I mean, upon first application, both the first time I used it and today, it's like, wow, this seems like it has really full coverage. But once everything's blended out, you'll see I still have a lot of discoloration over here. I have some of my discoloration coming through here, like just under eyes. And the texture on my skin isn't the best either. It claims to help with pore size, with texture, smoothing, everything. I would say my pores just look like normal, like how a basic foundation would look. I'm not blown away by this foundation, so my thoughts are the same as it was yesterday. I was just like, oh, this is just fine. It's not terrible. I'm not mad at it, but I'm not like, oh my goodness, holy grail foundation by any means. Like, if I needed to go out and like have a full beat face, if I wanted to take some really fancy pictures, this is not one that I would gravitate to, because it just doesn't give that flawless finish. But it looks fine for like an everyday wearer that maybe wants a natural skin-like finish. It doesn't feel like foundation on my face, so I do enjoy that part of it. It just feels very skin-like, so that claim I feel is pretty accurate. I don't feel like it's full coverage though. I think it's medium to full, and I do not think that it's very matte. Even though I put a setting spray on top, even before that, I didn't feel like it was that matte. I felt like it was very natural, which I like that finish, but I think I just wish the coverage was a little bit better, which is weird because I felt like over here it actually did cover pretty well. So yeah, it's hard because this is one of those foundations that it's like, I want to like it because I really like the finish of it. I haven't really played with any other foundations that give this finish that I like, but I don't like the coverage. So, but this is nowhere near as bad as the matte Shape Tape Foundation and the hydrating one for me. This one is a good middle of the road. It's just not that coverage that they had. So now it also said in its claims for the foundation that it's supposed to be like waterproof, sweat-proof, transfer-proof. We talked all about that. I'm gonna go ahead and show you in natural lighting what this looks like, and then we're gonna do an 8-hour wear test and we're gonna see how long it actually lasts and do a little transfer test to check it out. Okay, let me show you that natural lighting and then let's do the wear test. You guys, here is outside in natural lighting. So the sun is a little over yonder and it's like a little shaded over here. So it's not looking terrible. Actually looks pretty good outside. I almost feel like it looks better outside just in the natural lighting. Let's spin around. Yeah, actually looks pretty good that way, huh? That's interesting to take note of. But let's go ahead and see how the 8-hour wear test went. Grease City B, Grease City B, Grease City B, Grease City B. Oil all up in this Grease City B. Ooh, 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 ooh. What's up, you guys? It has been 8 hours, as you can tell from my check-in, and my song says it all. Let me go ahead and zoom in on this grease factor right here. Oh, I got some runny makeup too. Oh my goodness. Oh, she's a mess, girl. Oh, but really oily, really greasy, as you can tell by my song. And I think it is worth noting though that I don't have any weird separation going on or like netting or powderiness. So even though I'm very oily, it is not too much of a hot mess. It's just an oily situation. You know, the coverage that it did give, it has maintained. Earlier today I was editing the portion that I'd already filmed that you guys saw, and I was just like, you know, it's just not great. It's not the best coverage that I've had. It's not full coverage. It's a little deceiving because it seems full coverage as you're applying it at first, and then once it's all blended out, it's like, wait, where did that go though? And the brushes that I use usually really maintain full coverage. It's not like that I used a beauty blender all over, because I didn't. If you did a beauty blender, it'd be even less coverage, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. I mean, if you like very dewy, medium to full coverage skin, this might be your gal, but if you are a naturally oily skin person, I don't know how this will react with that. Unless you like a glossy look, but I don't think this is a matte foundation, at least the products that I use with it. And with the primer, I feel like, and I could be crazy, I am crazy, I know, but I could be crazy about this, I'm greasier on the primer side. At least in regular lighting, I feel like I am, as opposed to the hangover side. Let's take a look and see if the pores or anything look different. I have more separation over here by the nose on the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer side. It's a little bit better over here. Probably a very similar dupe. I mean, I'd have to try that one with other foundations to see if it's dupeable and if that's worth switching over to, since I'm almost out of the other one, but not like a make or break. It didn't really make a difference in my pores. They almost look the same. So I think that's a foundation issue, not some of the claims that it claimed. And it also claimed to be waterproof and stuff. I cannot imagine this is waterproof and transfer proof. Let's test and see if it's transfer proof. I mean, I don't see anything, but a little tiny bit, because it's so oily right now. Like, how is that not gonna happen? Let's try if I rubbed my hand. Oh, can you see? I see it a lot on the foundation. Oh, and you can see it imprint on my finger. So to me, that's not transfer proof. If I went to hug somebody, I mean, maybe because it's so oily, but I would have imprint on my face. That's for sure. So I don't know. Were their claims just, what's that word called? Marketing ploys, gimmicky marketing things. I think if they made the claims how the product actually performs, that would be fine. For somebody that's looking for a more natural looking finish and a natural looking coverage, this might be your boo. Give it a shot, see how it goes. Just know that it's not all it's claimed to be. All right, my fam bam, that is it for today's review. If you are new to my channel and you just stumbled upon my face for the very first time, hey, what is up? Welcome. Please go down and hit that little red subscribe button if you want to see more. I post videos at least 3 times a week, and I do everything from reviews, tutorials, hangout sessions, travel vlogs, all that fun stuff, mostly beauty related though. And if you want to subscribe to that, then you know what to do. Subscribe. with tapping that little red button. If you have made it this far in the video, chances are you are a part of my fam bam, and I have a question for you. How do you like this new lighting setup? This is officially my new setup. I now have soft boxes and a ring light, and I have this beautiful light that I can change in the background. And I want to know, how's everything looking? I also adjusted my camera settings. How are you liking it? Are you able to see things a little bit better? Let me know your feedback if you are a part of the fam bam, if you care, because I am all about improving here, and I want to try to show you guys everything as well as possible and like most like accurate. I feel like I'm almost there. Like, this pretty much looks like how it is in person. So let me know, please. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that every single one of you out there have a great, freaking, awesome, wonderful, happy, lovely, la 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 day.